Hi, I'm Greg, founder and designer of Board Riding Maui. I'm excited to share information with you about the new gear we just launched for this season. The goals for this season's gear were the same as always, simply just to have the most fun on the water. To describe a part of what that means, talking to a friend recently, he listed getting on foil, going upwind, and range, which I think are great building blocks to a great session and areas where we've made meaningful improvements with the gear for this season. Lots of the differences of this season's gear has improved getting on foil. The S3 has many more bridle points, especially over the back half of the canopy. I feel the increased support that they offer reduce the amount that the wing flexes when you pump, so there's less energy lost, the power is more direct, and that directness of power delivery is key to getting up on foil. Line length also has a big influence for getting on foil. The shorter the lines, the better for some things like stowing and launching, but too short sacrifices effectiveness for getting on foil. For the S3, we worked to find the best balance, which is longer than last year, but still within arm's length. The new bridling and its effect on changes to the wing's profile shape has improved getting on foil. Specifically, that in comparison to an inflated wing, ParaWings are easy to stall, especially when you're pumping to get up on foil. The new bridling and profile have a much bigger sweet spot for trimming the bar, meaning sheeting in gives more power instead of skipping right over power and into stall. In addition to assisting getting on foil at the low end, it's also an awesome improvement for getting on foil when you're riding more powered. Without even really pumping, you can just sheet in and go on the S3 in a way that I hadn't experienced before in a ParaWing. Lighter weight materials and construction and the increased projected area of a more open arc shape also improved getting on foil. One reason why improvements to getting on foil was a goal for this season is that in comparison to previous years, more of the development happened outside of Hawaii, riding in locations with different real world challenges. Lighter winds, current, seaweed, choppy water, onshore winds, and riding a smaller board meant that effectiveness for getting on foil had a higher impact on our overall sense of performance than with previous development centered in easier conditions. The same as for getting on foil, there are lots of differences in this season's gear that have contributed to upwind performance. The support from the additional bridle points that I've already mentioned make possible a flatter profile and positions the S3 further forward in the window, which allows you to point higher. The sheet in and go that I described for getting on foil also has a big influence on going upwind. Together with the S3's forward window position, the bridling allowing you to sheet in without stalling gives you power to drive upwind on the S3. The lighter the wind, the bigger the difference this drive makes for going upwind. Cross-testing with double skins and hybrids, the difference in drive on the S3 gave it clearly the best upwind performance in lighter wind, but we also made super important improvements in the higher wind. Where single skins generally fall behind double skins and hybrids in upwind performance is at the upper end of wind range. Single skins with deeper profiles can look nice, but sit increasingly further back in the window the more powered up you get, reducing upwind effectiveness. In contrast, the S3 has a defined break in its profile shape so that the front half maintains the forward window position while the back half sheets out. By the later stages of development, the S3 is giving us our best upwind performance in nearly every wind condition. At the low end of range, we've already described the improvements for getting on foil. There are other things that can define the low end range, like will the ParaWing even fly? And compared to our previous models, the S3 feels like a balloon on a string flying itself, which is so nice when you're taxiing to a wind line in light and variable conditions. At the upper end of range, the break in the profile that improves upwind performance has a parallel benefit to range. The forward lift, even when sheeting out, both dumps power as well as positioning the wing forward in the window where it pulls less. It's the total opposite from typical single skins pulling increasingly hard and in a downwind direction. The D-grip handle improves range. To explain that, it's easier to describe how bars limit range. First, to define what I consider a bar is any design where the hands are in line. We've made a million bar prototypes in all kinds of crazy shapes and curves and always bumped up against the same problem in wrist ergonomics, which is the more powered up we get, the more the bar angle changes to the point of discomfort where we feel overpowered and defines the upper limit of our range. Switching the front hand to the perpendicular handle orientation makes it unaffected by all changes in bar angle. So the same amount of pull that was the upper range on a bar is comfortable in the handle, extending riding into a bigger range. The handle is something new that takes adjusting to, but we launched the first ParaWing less than 2 years ago, so the entire category is still new. The loop of rope that illuminated for us ParaWinging flight control evolved into ParaWinging's first bar. For the second season, the yoke design on the bar addressed discomfort by limiting changes to the bar's angle, but to the sacrifice of D-power. For this third season, the handle offers far more D-power than ever and with total comfort. We're totally open to anything for the future, but there isn't anything currently queued up for release in the short term. Where we're at this moment in time with all we've ridden of our own designs and by others, double skin still lack the low end and ease of use needed to have application outside of the most talented riders on the most efficient gear. It'd be awesome if hybrids were the best of both worlds, but unfortunately we have yet to experience any having the full benefits of a double skin or a single skin. We put a crazy amount of work into the category, but for where it currently stands, there isn't a riding condition where we choose a hybrid over the S3. For me as a designer, the performance changes in S3 have redefined what I believed was possible in the single skin category. For me as a rider, to have our 2026 range consolidated back again to a single favorite ParaWing is the best possible outcome.